So, Phase B. Real quick, I wanted to talk about Phase B, what it was all about. We'll do this real quick. So, Phase B was all about advanced vision and tempo lines. Advanced vision being buy a first or a pink first base if possible. I originally laid out this video with a part A and a part B. Unfortunately, my part A corrupted, so I'm just going to give you kind of the things that I was feeling in part A. And that was I felt like I was just struggling really hard to buy control wards in game, which was my goal. And that I wanted to buy three. And I kept getting out of games buying one. And I was so frustrated. So I spent more time playing games and getting a better feel for the control ward issue, specifically buying three. And you will see in just a minute as we go to the next phase of this video, or the next part of this video, what conclusion I came to with that. The second part was, and I also wanted to buy a pink first base if possible. What I've found is that it's rarely possible. If you can buy refillables, do that. If you can buy boots, do that. If you can buy dark seal, do that. Right? It really is the last on the priority. But you want to get into this habit of if I have that 75 gold, I'm going to buy a control ward. And anyways, what you'll find, I might be spoiling this, I don't know. But later on in the game, it's no longer possible to buy a control ward because you don't have the inventory space. But anyways, we will take a look at tempo lines. What in the world is a tempo line? So basically a tempo line is the idea that tempo is, how aggressively teammates are playing or you are playing. And the tempo line suggests that wherever my team is at, and we might even say wherever the front man is at. No, we'll say majority of team is at. That constitutes the tempo line. So right here, this would be the tempo line. And when I'm coming out of base or whatever I'm doing, maybe I'm here and I want to recall, but I'm at full health. I might have 2,000 gold. It doesn't matter. If my team is choosing to play high tempo, then I either need to join them here or here. But anywhere on the map that matches this tempo line. It is my job as a mid laner. Now, it may be the case that they're here poking a tower and I don't see the enemy on top of them yet, and I have minions pushed into our base here, and I'm just coming from base. I see minions, and I'm like, man, I can't let this go. So I'm clearing. The rule is I can only do that if I have TP on cooldown, meaning I have TP up. And the moment I see them fighting, I'm going to forsake this wave to join them in their tempo. So that's the idea. The next part of this is, let me find my eraser. The flip side of it. If my team's here and I'm trying to be aggressive, I need to see where my team's at and I need to play around them. If I'm up here trying to make plays and they're not, I've got to back up. It is what it is. And so that's the idea behind tempo lines. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Real quick, just wanted to look at this second half of this phase, phase 8, looking at my tempo lines. And then I also was focusing on control wards. And real quick, I would just like to say on the control ward issue, I have now got enough games under my belt that I recognize 3 control wards is kind of too much. Okay, some games you can hit it, some games you can't. The ideal amount of control wards is 2. And the reason being, there have been several games where I've had one control ward on the map for 5 to 10 minutes because they just start clearing them. So that's one thing to think about. A really good place to put your control wards, believe it or not, is in the mid lane. See if you can see this. Yep. Right here in this bush. They'll just never clear it. If you're losing, you want to put them in your jungle. If you're winning, you want to put them in their jungle. That's pretty standard and easy to understand. Another way you want to use your control wards is on objectives when you're taking them. It's always worth it for that. But really not much more advanced than that, at least for me at this stage. So we'll go ahead and move on from that. So, tempo lines. I got a couple clips of tempo lines in action. We got good examples and bad examples of it. And anyways, we will go ahead and get into that. So here, what are we looking at? So I was dead here. We have Baron. My Kate and Nautilus were pushing. And in the middle of the game, I just remember thinking, like, what is Warwick doing? And I really didn't even notice Kha'Zix, but I can also say the same thing about Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix, what are you doing? Go take the top tower. Warwick, the bottom wave is too late. Just group mid. Like, it's fine. Or both of you go top. But do something besides what he's doing right now. And actually, we will rewind it some more. Like, they were both in position. And then they just kind of back up. They're full health. Granted, I'm dead, but I took soul with me. And here you see we're taking a buff and we're taking a wave that isn't going to count for anything. And the tempo was just all jacked up. Obviously, I couldn't control my teammates here, but me having good tempo by itself should mean that I will climb over time. Okay, next clip. Let's see the tempo state. So the tempo line is fairly even across river. You could argue I'm slightly extended, but I see 4 on the map right now, and I'm 4, 1, and 8. I'm feeling very confident nobody can kill me. So it's almost like I'm the one stretching the tempo, and everybody needs to match my tempo at this point because I'm the fed one. And that's actually a good way to think about it. So Poppy and Malphite are making things happen up top. I see plenty of people mid, so I go ahead and push. I need to match their tempo. They are active. I need to be active. Okay, I back up here because for some reason my Ezreal decides to recall along with Yumi, taking 2 people off the map when we're trying to have high tempo. Poppy is still, and Malphite are in a high tempo state. I can't really help. So here, later on, next clip, you see the tempo is pretty good. Apart from Ezreal, Malphite is excused because he's matching Jax, whatever Jax is doing here. Ezreal seems to be running mid to join, so I am good to be at a high tempo state here. So I'm just being useful, taking turret. And this is the importance of a high tempo state. It allows you to make plays. All right, they send the one guy they had to match me, and I'm 4, 1, and 9. I'm too powerful. He just can't do that. I end up taking this tower and then dying. My teammates are not matching my tempo. That's part of the problem. Midwave should be pushed by now into the turret. Looks like they are now, which is fine, but Malphite wasn't. All right, so that was really all I wanted to talk about for this video. As far as where I'm at on the challenge, I have dropped all the way to gold 3, like 75 LP. It's been rough. I'm not blaming it on the phase. The phase has been good, and I've gotten better because I've learned this phase. Now, there might be somewhere else in my gameplay where I have regressed. If so, I don't know what it is, but we're just going to keep doing our thing and focus less on getting to plat and more on getting better and learning these phases. I've already know what the next phase is going to be. I'm excited, and I can't wait to use this next phase to improve in a game that I think is really, really struggling for me.